Welcome to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of GREYS.
Good morning and welcome along to GREYS on this Thursday, the 3rd of October 2024. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. We've got a massive 72 hours ahead in greyhound racing. Huge night tonight across there in South Australia. Of course, we have got Adelaide Cup heats. Bit of WA representation as well. Good to see Uncle Tommy across there as well as Kane and Stark. So good luck to Stevie Withers with those particular representatives this evening there at Angle Park. And we'll have a good look at those heats a bit deeper into the program today with our man Sean Matheson on a spot there. But yeah, a number of the runners that went round in the Sandgrope earlier on this year will be going around there. So that'll be one of the real highlights. Doesn't end there though. Great chasing all around the nation. One man that joins us to talk about that as well as the local stuff. He'll be with us again tomorrow on the Jet Set podcast is the Train himself. A very good morning to you, Shane Train Williams. Toot toot. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Yes, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, find me very well, Shorty. Bit wet and windy the last couple of days, but we're about to just batten down the hatches, Shorty, and get on with the job.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost the majority of that meeting there last night at Mandurah. We only got a couple of races in before stewards determined that the conditions were not suitable for racing. So we'll have to get back to that particular card. And, of course, we had Spring Maiden Classic heats there as well. So no doubt they will be transferred to a meeting in the upcoming future. Train, just quickly, tonight there, Angle Park Adelaide Cup heats. Tremendous chasing to look forward to there.
Yeah, Shorty, there's not a lot of, how can I say, there's quite a bit of depth there, but not a lot of heats, is there? Quality, jam-packed quality, I suppose you can say. Normally there's 7 or 8 heats for the Adelaide Cup, but this year there's only 4, but there's plenty of quality there amongst them, and good to see most of them dogs from them match race series, that ones that didn't get through, back up and go in the heat, Shorty.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's a number of them that have been around for a couple of weeks, so they'll certainly be comfortable with the circuit. And Jason Thompson, fresh off success last week, he's backing up with some nice dogs. There's a few of the Sandgroper dogs there as well that we can look forward to seeing going around later on tonight there at Angle Park. But given the quality through the heats and the fact we've already got one high-quality chaser already in the final, we're set for a tremendous Group 1 Adelaide Cup there next week, but can't wait for those heats a little bit later on tonight here locally. Got a program to look forward to at Northam, a 12 racer. First gets underway here local time at 4:25 this afternoon. 12 race program. Train, what do you think of the Northam card?
Yeah, I actually don't mind tonight, Shorty, up there at Northam. A little bit light on with numbers, some small fields and stuff, but they've done a really good job. They're getting toward the back end of their season. Obviously, when it gets to summertime, it's too hot to race up there, so that's when Kennington will come back in play. But I think the track's done a remarkable job to hold up, for the 2 meetings every week and the trial session on the Saturday for the last probably 3 or 4 months, Shorty. So hats off to everyone up there that have done the right thing and looked after the track up there. Unfortunately, we lost the meeting on Monday, but I think that was due to not having any access to any water there to put on the track. So that was unfortunate, but I think that problem's been rectified for tonight's meeting. So, yeah, looking forward to tonight's card, Shorty.
All right, well, let's go through your key plays for this evening.
Yeah, I'm going to kick it off. Race 5, number 6, Our Aussie Salute. This dog's trained by Jamie Marsh. It won last week. Well, it shared the prize. It dead heated. It just got a real good turn of foot when the lid's open, and I think this race lacks a bit of early speed. So, at the back end of his races, he's going to be paddling. He's only like a 30 dead, 29.9 dog, but I think that might be good enough to get away with, Shorty, especially when he can get out in front. But he will need to lead, so that's the first battle we're going to have. And if he does, I think he'd be hard to beat. Race 5, number 6, Our Aussie Salute.
All righty, race 5, number 6, Our Aussie Salute, the first of the plays tonight there for Train. On to the second of your key plays.
Yeah, race 7, number 4, Simplicity. Shorty is a dog we tipped last week. probably an error by me. It was a pretty tricky map for it last week off the 8 and had all the speed drawn underneath it. But tonight it's perfectly mapped. It's got box 4. Obsessed Much in 6 has got good speed. He likes to stay up the track. He might hold the 7 dog up, and by that time the 4 will just be darting up along the rails. Short. He's a real winner. 29 wins of 56 starts, and he's bombed out his last 2. So I think he'd be very, very keen to bounce back tonight, Cody Charles. Race 7, number 4, Simplicity. And as I said to the boys this morning, Shorty, winners win. Race 7, number 4, Simplicity is the best bet for the night.
Yeah, what you've got to take into account is last 3 of its last 4, this dog's been beaten, but all 3 of those, the dog drew box 8. And all 3 of those, it had Obsessed Much and Go Get 'Em Herbie drawn underneath it. This time around, roles are reversed, and Simplicity draws 4, and Obsessed Much and Go Get 'Em Herbie, who've beaten out Simplicity in those races and crossed, have drawn outside of it. So Simplicity, if you're ever going to back it, tonight's the night, because it's drawn inside those 2 dogs that have had superior early burn at their last couple of starts. So we'll wait and see how it goes tonight. Race 7, number 4, Simplicity, and the third of your plays?
Yeah, for sure. What you just touched on is 100% right, Shorty. And I think if you've been back in Simplicity, you'd be a long way in front, even though he does start prohibited odds most times. Tonight, the key is Obsessed Much in 6, who does like to stay up the track, holding the other dog out. So, yeah, you're spot on there, Shorty. Hopefully you can get the job done for us tonight. The third tip, Shorty, I'm going to be one of those rare occasions where I tip one of my own dogs. I hate to do it, and I don't like the juju, but there are a lot of races there tonight where I just couldn't sort of find the leaders, and I thought race 10, number 5, Enjoyable, who's probably led 5 of the last 7 starts up there at Northam, could be hard to beat. I was talking to the boys again this morning, and this little girl's just come on a long way, Shorty. Her last sort of 2 months' worth of work, I didn't really have much of an opinion of her. I think the last 6 weeks she's strengthened up at the back end of her races. She used to be just a speedy squib, and now she's getting down to 29.50, 29.60. And in that Northern Cup heat, I thought her run was outstanding. She's got people like Ken Stark, but Last Sagrada only just grabbed her in the last stride. So to be hanging on and battling out with them type of dogs, Shorty, I think just goes to show how much she's come in a short space of time. And I think tonight she can find the lead. And again, I think probably the only dog that could run her down would be Miss Ronnie Mack out in 8 if it got straight behind her. I think she'd be able to hold the others off, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. But, yeah, I haven't seen any prices, but I thought she'd be hard to beat tonight. Race 10, number 5, Enjoyable.
Indeed, race 10, number 5, Enjoyable. It's a really interesting point you raised there, Train. I think so often greyhounds can just take time to mature and find their absolute top. And I think Enjoyable's a really good case in point that, like you said, sort of earlier on in its career, it was turning up and racing really consistently. But as time's gone on, it's just been one of those dogs that sort of found a couple of lengths, each month for a few months, and now found itself running some incredibly warm times that put itself up there with, within a few lengths of best of night times quite regularly.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Shorty, if you had told me she'd run 500, I would have told you to go to the rehab centre and lock yourself up. The only reason we went up there was when Kennington shut. She was racing 380 there all the time, and I said to the owner, I might just give her a go up at Northam. The 509 is a pretty soft 500, so that's probably the only reason we went up there when Kennington shut. So she snuck a novice. She won a city novice up there, and I've been mixing her distances a little bit between the 400 at Mandurah and the 509 at Northam, and she's really enjoyed it. So, yeah, she's found 3 or 4 lengths in the last 6 weeks, which has been pleasing to see, because she's a nice bitch by Tommy Shelby and very consistent and never really runs a bad race.
No, absolutely. It's good to see that she continues on, and also great to see the Kennel Star Iconic Jet back in action this upcoming weekend as well. He, of course, finished runner-up in the SA Derby. What's the latest on Iconic Jet, and what are we expecting this weekend? We get to see Iconic Jet come from box number 1 in race 5, a heat of the WA Bred Championship there at Cannington on Saturday, at Mandurah, on Saturday night. He is $1.75 fixed odds favourite with Tab Touch at the moment for that particular heat. How's the dog settled back in here at home again?
Yeah, he had a quiet week when he come home, Shorty, just with the travel and stuff, and then I didn't really know what to do. I sort of thought to myself, I might just trial him, see how he goes. If he trials no good, he can have a couple of weeks off. Or if he trials good, we might put him in this race. And I thought it was a good time to attack one of these races. As some of the better WA-bred chasers are over in Sydney having a crack at the MDC, and he's been lucky enough to come up with the one box. He's been pretty lucky with the box draws, to be honest, and hopefully he can cash in on Saturday night. So he trialled 22.20 on last Thursday over the 400 at Mandurah, and I was happy with that and thought that was good enough to sort of push on with. And before we went to Adelaide, I trialled him 488 the week before he trialled the 30 and 26. And he went 27.04 and got home in 10.98. That's why I'm still confused why he wasn't running it out at Angle Park. It still remains a mystery why he didn't have that back-end section in the heat and the final. Still scratching my head. Had a couple of people go over the dog, and there's nothing wrong with him at all physically. And so it still remains a mystery what happened in Adelaide. Surely I'm still scratching my head what hair I've got left, that is, anyway. But, yeah, look, box one, he's going to get a chance. I think it's a bit short, to be honest. Sunset Pepe in 3 goes really good. He's probably a sub-27 dog there and has run 05 and 15 recently. So he's going to have to be at his game. But like I said, box one is going to sort of give him every chance to hop on the bunny and hopefully qualify for the final. And, we'll just see what sort of speed influence makes the final, because he's at his best when he's out in front, high ball in front.
Absolutely, yeah. But as you've touched on, there's some good opposition there on Saturday night. The likes of Sunset Pepe, who's been rubbing shoulders with the top dogs for a significant period of time. Hinto, Grand Old Warrior, draws out there in box number 6, probably just going a little below its best at the moment. But, it'd be really interesting to see how Iconic Jet goes around in that second heat of the WA Bred Championship on Saturday night there at Mandurah. That first heat's got some good quality as well. Weston Astro, Spooky Hook in box 2's been going really well for Andrew McLaren. Arbolino for Paul Stewart. Gimli, Sunset Serengeti. He's got an excellent record, Track and Trip. Inside Scoop, Custer Manelli and All About Rock. These WA Bred series in recent times, Trainer, great example of just how much improvement there's been in WA breeding over the last 10 to 15 years. There's always great depth and high quality. Any time we run these WA Bred series, over the last 5 or 6 years now. Yeah,
you're 100% spot on, Shorty. We've seen the last 3 to 4 years the WA dogs go over east and hold their own anywhere they go. And I think it's really good, this series, Shorty, to see a lot of grade 5 dogs in there. Normally this is an open class race, so normally you would only get the top class chasers and probably only get 2 heats. But 3 heats, and there's a lot of races there filled with 5th grade chasers, WA Bred. So, like me in the past, I've been a little bit hesitant to put 5th grade dogs in up against the open class dogs. But like I said earlier, with a few of the big boys away on tour at the moment, I thought it was a good opportunity to dip the toe in the open class company, albeit WA Bred.
Absolutely. Well, we'll wait and see how Iconic Jet goes there. Anything else from the kennel worth discussing before we bid you a farewell on this Thursday morning?
I thought the fields are not out yet, but Ripper Moses next Tuesday at Northern. He was supposed to go around last night, and I tried him this morning. He went a little bit quicker than his brother. So, hopefully he draws well next Tuesday. He might be a betting proposition, Ripper Moses, next week. He's really... since that trip away, he's really brought him on, and that's what I'm hoping that can do with Iconic Jet as well. Just he's come home and he's beaten his chest out and thinks he's top dog. So we've always talked about it. Shorty, the trip away can do him the world of good. So I'll set him up to the 488 on Tuesday night. So hopefully he can draw well and go close then.
Yeah, well, gee, if he's gone quicker than his brother, that would mean he's gone sub 22.2, which means that Ripper Moses is going particularly well. Look forward to seeing him go around on Tuesday, and great to see. He's another one that hasn't necessarily been a slow burn, but he's been a little under what we've seen from Iconic Jet on the way through, and he does appear to be a dog that has really benefited greatly from that trip away to South Australia. So look forward to seeing his continued progression. Train. We'll team up tomorrow for the Jet Set podcast, and our VIP industry guest tomorrow will be rolling out the red carpet for Jodie Jennings, so that should be a great chat.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. can't wait to talk to Jody and talk about probably a new batch of dogs coming through and the success that they've had in the past. A great family, and can't wait to have a chat.
Big time, yeah. They have been royalty when it comes to greyhound racing here in WA. Christine and Dave Robertson and Jodie Jennings, that is for sure and certain. And the work she's done in more recent times to help promote the sport to new owners and the like has been absolutely first class. She's a wonderful lady, and can't wait to have a chat to her tomorrow on the Tab Touch Greyhound Jet Set podcast. Good on you, Train. Thanks as always for your time here on TAB Radio on this Thursday. We'll team up tomorrow morning, but before that we'll hear from yourself with Diggers and Tim, hopefully in decent shape tomorrow morning there on the Sports Daily from the, of course, the Goldfields. The boys are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, Shorty. Can't wait, and good luck to everyone over the weekend.
Good on you, Shane. Shane Train Williams with us to kick off Great Greys on this Thursday morning, where it's now 17 minutes after 10. Looking forward to having a chat to Jace Campbell. He's been seeing them really well later on into the program. Simon Orchard, of course, it's all really heating up as well over there in New South Wales with $1 million chase now. A little over 2 weeks away. I think it's the 18th of October, the Friday night across there at Wentworth Park. $1 million up for grabs. That's going to be some series. So we'll catch up with Simon Orchard and go through the latest there in New South Wales chasing a little bit later on this hour. Matty, we'll throw back to you. Anything to report from headquarters?
Nothing doing at the moment, Shorty. We got the first to Ipswich. It's in 26 minutes' time, and at $1.85, Chamiero heads the market. It's in from $2.70, and the next best at $6.50 is Zugo Boss, and that is at 11:15.
Excellent. Let's see if we can't catch up with Jace Campbell now and go through what is a busy night of chasing there at Albert Park along with Hobart. JC, nice to be catching up with you on this Thursday here on Great Greys. Excellent card tonight there at Albion Park. Also some good chasing down there in the Apple Isle at Tasmania this evening. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Thanks for having me, Shorty. I'm going quite well. How are you going, mate?
Yeah, travelling really well. Thank you, JC. It's an exciting time of year. We've got Adelaide Cup heats going on, the $1 million chase just around the corner. So much to look forward to for chasing fans, and winners to be found tonight there at Albion Park and also Hobart. Take us through your key plays tonight there at the Creek at Albion Park.
Looking to hopefully kick off the tip sheet with the best bet, race 5 number 1 with a winner, Orson Appetite. She's a bitch that has been racing really well of late. She won 2 starts ago over the 520 metres from a middle draw. She made up a lot of ground that occasion. I think the rise to 600 metres is exactly up her alley. She's had 4 starts over this track and trip for 2 wins and a placing. She goes really well from box 1. She's had 8 starts for 4 wins and 2 placings. I think she's a deserving favourite in this race. Should be able to race a little bit closer to the speed, and as we know, she's strong enough late in the piece. So I think Orson Appetite can be a winner for us in race 5.
All right, we're going to get straight down to business with our best bet on the card there tonight at Albion Park. Race 5, the Red Rug, Orson Appetite. On to race 6 on the card.
Yeah, looking to go back-to-back here, Shorty. Race 6, number 8, Autumn Storm for the Prince. She let me down a fortnight ago, and Duffman got the better of her over this track and trip, but she was able to right her wrongs at Ipswich last start, jumping out of box 1, won at a very short price in fair enough time. I don't mind her drawing out wide, Shorty. I know a lot of her recent runs have been from inside draws, but she has failed to miss a placing in 3 starts from box 8, and always watching a lot of the head-on footage. She does like to hold her line, so I don't think box 8 seems to be a problem. And Mustang Hayes in box 1, not sure how well she's going. She's sort of out of form. And Daisy's Rory in box 2 does like to use the track. So I think Autumn Storm can miss a bit of trouble down low, stay wide, and hopefully be the second winner of the night for us.
Excellent. The Autumn Storm, the pink rug to get the job done with the floss. And we're going with another floss runner in race number 8.
Yes, Hilltop Prince, race 8, number 8. He was our BB last week, and he was miserable, but I have to pick and stick, Shorty. You got to do that in this game. You got to be forgiving at times, and he just didn't like box 1. He didn't begin all that well and want to use the track. Much better suit here, obviously, in box 8. Won his lone start out of this draw. I just don't think the dogs drawn underneath in boxes 1 and 2 are going to be well suited. Take it by low in box 1 does like to use the track a little bit, and Celtic Gold can cut back to the rails. So hopefully Hilltop Prince, a bit like Autumn Storm, can hang out wide. He's got certainly the ability to win a race of this nature. He has broken 30 seconds here in the past, and I think he might get out to a bit of a ridiculous price just based off his run last week, and he's a lot better dog than what he showed there.
Alrighty, so tonight, Albion Park, the 3 BBs for Jace Campbell, race 5, number 1, Awesome Appetite, race 6, number 8, Autumn Storm, and race 8, number 8, Hilltop Prince. What about down there in Tassie this evening?
Teaming up with the XWA runner in race 7, number 5, Cadia Gold. I think this runner will be really hard to beat here. He's excelled since going down to Tasmania, and in particular at Hobart. He's had 5 starts here for 4 wins, and he's yet to lose in 2 starts over this track and trip. I think the scratching of Gravitational in box 1 really opens this race up, as you can tell by the marker with Aston Smokey, the current favourite. He should get a lot of room to move here, Cadia Gold. He's got a really hard railer inside him in Aston Hematite and 2 wide runners outside with Shore Danger and Remember Des. Both looking to use the track early. I don't think there's any reason why he'll run a bad race here, and he looks a fair enough price to me, Shorty.
Yes, I'm with you here. This dog has really taken to that Hobart circuit, Cadia Gold, and looks to be a very suitable assignment again tonight. Race 7, the Yellow Rug at Cadia Gold, and then we head to race 9 for the last of your plays tonight.
Playing number 4 here, Finlock Survivor. I'd say watch his last start replay. He absolutely speared the lids from box 8 at Launceston on Monday night. He's a dog that has been coming out really well of late. I really love the grade drop here back to Masters Company. As you see with these Masters races, a lot of these dogs, I guess, lose their early burn, and he's one that hasn't lost it. There should be less pressure in this race, and I think he'll lead this race by a long way and hopefully hold on for victory.
I like it. Race 9, number 4, Finlock, the dog to be teaming up with there tonight, Finlock Survivor. For the punters, race 9, number 4, Finlock Survivor to go along with race 7 and number 5, Cadia Gold. JC, tremendous having you on the program. We'll chat on tomorrow's Jet Set podcast. We'll have a really good look at that Wentworth Park program on Saturday night. The trainer and I have already had a bit of a chat and a build up to this particular program. It's an absolute bottler. We've got the $1 Million Chase City qualifiers, and man, talk about an entree before the main meal in a couple of weeks' time. There are some absolutely sensational qualifiers to look forward to throughout the course of that program there on a Saturday night. 8 of them, if you don't mind. And just looking through, they are just dripping with quality.
Yeah, I look like I've got my work cut out for me this afternoon, Shorty. So I've got to get ready for tomorrow's Jet Set podcast. I haven't exactly gone through the fields yet, but I'll be definitely doing that this afternoon, hopefully providing the listeners with a few winners on Saturday night.
You'll love what you see there, JC, because there's a handful of your absolute favourites that are engaged there, a few of the regular suspects, but the top-end stuff is absolutely elite. So I can't wait to discuss that with you tomorrow on the Jet Set podcast. Until then, many winners, JC. Thanks as always for your time here on Great GREYS.
Thank you, Shorty. See you, mate.
There we have it. Jace Campbell with us here on a TAB radio. We are a little way off our first race for broadcast here throughout the course of the show today. It will be the first at Ipswich. It comes up at 10:45, so we're some 21 minutes away, and we front up to a odds-on favourite here in the first maiden over the 1,350 metres, and Chamiero 250, as big as 270, now crunched into $1.85, so it's a very popular favourite here in the first at Ipswich. Zugo Boss 5 out to 650, Crypto Pin 850 to 9, Whom So Never 850 out to 9, Antilles 18 into 950 has been the subject of some good support, so keep an eye on number 12 Antilles 18, as big as 23, now at $9.50. Thunder Shanghai 10 to 13, Spirited Sun 15 to 20. He's Finesse 26, as big as 31, now 21, so it's seen a bit of support at longer odds. Migratory 14 to 23, Ready to Flirt 41 out to 51, Kubi Kudaki 41 out to 71, Whiskey Tycoon 41 out to 91, and the outsider of the field, Karabeni, has been 91 out to 126. Well-back favourite, number 9, Chamiero, 250 into $1.85. Race number 1 from Ipswich in 18 minutes' time here on TAB Radio. Let's catch up with our Hall of Famer, though, now here on Great Greys. As always, tremendous to catch up with Neil Brown to have a look at the Thursday night Sandown program, early and late quaddie, along with a best bet or two. Welcome to you, Neil Brown. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Yeah, terrific, David. Very pleasant weather conditions here in Melbourne, so we should have a wonderful night for greyhound racing tonight. Pretty challenging card, as it usually is, but we've been going all right, David, so I think we can find some winners tonight.
I agree, Brownie. Let's get things started with your early quaddie. The first race tonight comes up at 4:22 WA time. It is a mixed grade 6 and 7 over the 515 metres. Poor Vortex is our current $2.50 fixed odds favourite.
Yeah, I'm going to take three in this, 3, 8 and 7. I think they've all got chances. Poor Quan, I've got on top probably the better drawn of the chances as I see it. So we'll take 3 in that first leg. Again, 3 in the second leg over the 515, a grade 5 here. I like the 8. She's been in very, very good form. She's won 4 on the trot. And Sprightly Cyan, I've got on top for David Gill. And I'll give chances to 3 and 7 as well. We'll take those 3, 8, 3, 7. Race number 3 here, 515 metre grade 5. Good race. I'm tipping the South Australian Oaks winner on top here. 3. I'm taking 1 and 7. Excuse me. 3, 1 and 7. Paul Petroff, very impressive winner. It's in very good form for the Delbridge Kennel. I think it can win 3, 1 and 7 in the third leg. The hard race, fourth leg, very interesting race. I think there's a few chances. I'm going to take 4 of them. 2, 6, 1 and 4 here, David. I've got Shimmer Steel. He hasn't had much luck his last couple, and I think he might be just a tiny bit better than these. But it is a very open race, so I'll give him another chance. I'm going to take 6, 1 and 4 as well, so a bit wider in that last leg, the next stake over the 515. Moving into the main quad tonight, race number 5 here over the 715. I'm going to take 8, 7 and 6. It's a mixed stake here. And, 3 on the trot, very, very impressive. Galactic Spartan last week got home really hard, does get back, and but I think it can win tonight again. Very impressive, 41.92. And I'll give chances to Pass Mark and Drill Sergeant. They go around pretty often, these two. And I'm just probably leaving the favourite out. It's an old water. Just want to see what it does over the side 7.15 tonight. So just take 8, 7 and 6. In the first leg. Race number 6, pretty hard race this. I've gone wide, 7, 2, 1 and 5. I've got the Lanfranco on top. Has the ability in a pretty wide open race. I think he can get over from the 7 box in here over the 595. It's a grade 5, but definitely chances to the 2 drawn on the inside here. Extremely potent, and Hosanna Bale, and I'm throwing the 5 in as well with some sort of chance, Ashton Figaro. So open the second leg, 7, 2, 1 and 5. In race number 7, here's a few chances in this too, David, over the 595, mixed stay 4th and 5th grade. I'm going to stick with Dennis and Frisbee after he got home for our best bet last week. Just kept finding something and got to the line well. But it is an open race. 1, 2, 3 and 8 I'm going to take. I've got Dennis and Frisbee on top, but definite chances to Dottie's Gift. Freddie Rose, we haven't seen him ever over the 515, 595. We've seen him over the 515 plenty of times, and he gets home hard, doesn't he? He might be a surprise. You've got to throw him in the quaddie. And Whereas Bale is racing okay, just got to get over from the 8 in this 595. But an open race, 1, 2, 3 and 8. Coming home in the free-for-all, David, race number 8. Pretty good race. We've got the 3s come out, so a field of 7 now. 2 standouts, of course, the mighty Yahtzee Bale and Bagman. I think they both seen a little, got a little bit on this field. Bagman, not much pace in his inside tonight, and I think he might be able to lead from box 6. He has won 3 races from that draw. He does run round the 502, 505 to the first peg if he can lead. We've seen him very, very hard to run down. So I've got him on top. Yahtzee Bale can never leave him out. He's done something he hasn't done for a long while, is win 2 in a row. In fact, I'm not sure he's ever won 3 in a row in his 20 wins, strung them together. But, geez, a terrific greyhound, over $850,000 in prize money, the Melbourne Cup winner, never leaving him out of the quaddie. And Silky Sauce, I think, has got some sort of claims from that inside draw. It has got a lot of early pace as well from box number 2. So good race, 6, 4 and 2. See if Bagman can lead and win tonight. So pretty solid meeting, David. Looking for our best bet tonight. Found it a little difficult. I'm going to go back to race 5 and Galactic Spartan. I was very impressed with its win last week, and they're betting around about the $4 mark at the minute. I think he presents reasonable value over the 7.15, so we'll make him our best bet. Race 5, number 8. So good luck and good punting at Sandown tonight.
Excellent. And Neil, just quickly touching on one of those dogs that you had on top earlier in that early quaddie, Paul Petrov. Gee, I've been impressed by this dog, and of course took out that feature there, the SA Derby defeating Iconic Jet, the WA dog, and then took its show on the road last week for a young chaser to then butter up from a trip to Angle Park. It went to Wentworth Park last Saturday night. Took on a good quality lineup and came from box number 7. And I thought the win was absolutely magnificent. It was a really strong performance, and now returns back home where it's done, more racing, more comfortable, back into its kennels. And I thought it would come up fairly trim in that market, but it's a $4.60 chance, Paul Petrov. And it's absolutely a great each way bet at the price that it is there for the punters that have had a bit of luck with it. It was tipped out last week on Great Greys, Paul Petrov, on this show last week, and was good to us at that $7.50 quote. So I think we can butter up and go again, and Neil's had it on top. So I think that's a nice push, and it's a bet worth having tonight there at Sandown. Race 3, number 3, Paul Petrov. Brownie, what did you make of the grand final? Unfortunately, really lopsided. I couldn't see it being anything but a close game heading in on what we'd seen in the build-up and the prelim finals, but Brisbane was simply stunning.
Yes, outstanding, David. Didn't put a toe out of place, did they? They were just up on their game. They came to play. I thought might have stung them a bit getting beaten by that small margin last year, and they were there to win, and they were impressive and just put it to bed in 20 minutes in the second quarter, didn't they, David? And I think we predicted that the young fella might play a pretty good game, and he's come home with the Norm Smith medal, and looking forward to seeing his brother in action next year. So they'll be up and about again next year, but they were very impressive, and a bit of a question mark over the Sydney side now. To do it in their last couple of occasions on the big stage. They've let their supporters down, but couldn't have been more impressive for Lions. And, I quite enjoyed the game, but it was a bit one-sided, wasn't it, Dave?
It was one-sided, which is a bit of a shame, but I think it wasn't a chore to watch. I think just the complete animal ferocity that Brisbane brought to the table. They were so hungry, dog hungry for the football, and a number of their players shone through. It was still really entertaining the way they played, and it was a little bit of icing on the cake to see Will Ashcroft get the Norm Smith medal there. He was $31 when thrown out on this station last week, Brownie, so we did get a little bit of something on the way through, which is always nice. Appreciate your time as always. Have a wonderful Thursday night there at Sandown, and look forward to our chat again next week.
Will do, David. Thanks, mate.
There we have it. Neil Brown with us this morning here on Great Greys, where it is now 26 minutes away from 11 o'clock. We'll be catching up with Sean Matheson in just a few moments' time, and he will no doubt be absolutely delighted to have the quality of greyhound that they've attracted to this year's Adelaide Cup heats. As Shano mentioned, maybe not as many heats as what we would normally see, but I think the mere fact that they've drawn the quality of dogs that they have, they've hit the top end of town big time, and I think that may have scared a few away. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think however you chop up these heats, we're going to be left with one of the best ever Adelaide Cup finals from a depth perspective, just looking through the heats. The top 2 and 3 in each of these heats, they're almost worthy of being finals in their own right, a lot of these particular heats. There are some absolutely special chasers that'll be strutting their stuff tonight there at Angle Park, and a man to Tell us all about it. He joins us each and every week here on Great Greys. Sean Matheson is now with us. Hello to you, Sean. Welcome to Great Greys for this week, and good luck for tonight there. These Adelaide Cup heats, as I've just alluded to, maybe not as many heats and as many dogs having a tilt, but gee whiz, the quality of them is just different gravy.
Yeah, hi, David. Great to be on the show with you on a wonderful day's racing for us with our Group 1 Adelaide Cup heats. As you mentioned, 4 outstanding heats. The depth and quality, we're extremely excited by the interstate support and the local support as well. And probably the reason we probably don't have as many heats is we probably don't have as many local greyhounds engaged in the series as what we would normally do. And that may well be because of, as you mentioned, the depth and quality. Group 1 winners throughout each of the heats probably identified it's going to be a really tough series. But once we get through our 4 heats, as we know, Excavation's already there through the match race series, running a track record 29.84 last week, is all waiting for them next Friday night. But once we get through, we're going to have an outstanding Group 1 Adelaide Cup final. And history tells us with the Adelaide Cup, they're champions of the track who win this race, and they go on to be, as I mentioned, stars of the track. So it's going to be a very, very hard race to win, and going to be well earned whoever wins next Friday night. But they've got to get through tonight, which is not going to be an easy task with only the winners and the 3 fastest seconds progressing.
Exactly. And when you go through these heats, it's the who's who of Australian greyhound racing right now, to be honest. As you work your way through, there's a truckload of the dogs that were across here for the Sandgroper, our slot race, that are all engaged, and there's a bit of WA flavour. It's great to see Steve Withers across there. He has Kanan Stark and Uncle Tommy going around, and we'll be catching up with Steve Withers on this afternoon's drive program at 4:40. If you'd like to tune in there, myself and Alex Vlahos will have a chat to Steve Withers and get the thoughts of his 2 runners for tonight there in Uncle Tommy and also Kanan Stark. So if you love your greyhound racing, stay tuned to TAB Radio. Later on today, where myself and Alex Vlahos will be hosting Drive, and Steve Withers will join us from approximately 4:40 this afternoon. Alrighty, Sean, let's break it down. Talk us through your key plays for tonight's Adelaide Cup heat night.
Well, the key plays, I'll have a bit of a focus just on the Adelaide Cup. I think one of the best bets for the listeners comes up in the second heat of the Adelaide Cup. It's race 6, number 2, in the hub for Dave Crawford, and I'm very, very mindful of Kanan Stark, the WA performer, David, for you guys. That's had very strong support already. But in the hub, he's very hit and miss. He's brilliant at his absolute best when he hits the start and he leads, and he can find some trouble when he doesn't. He did have a trial here a couple of weeks ago, was very quick early, and his time was 30.39, but there was a bit of a headwind when he turning for home. So his first 2 sections were brilliant. So I'm expecting that. He went back to Sandown, had no luck from box 1 as the favourite in a free-for-all. Coming back here, I don't think David Crawford would be bringing him back unless he felt he was a red-hot chance. He's drawn perfectly in box 2. I think he leads. Mapunga Smokey drawn outside him wants to get a bit wide. I'm a bit worried about Morton out wide. There's some wide runners on his inside, Woodside Johnny. So I think he gets the opportunity to lead, and I think he's a huge chance to win if he can do that. He's quoted at $3 in probably the most open heat. But, yeah, I'm definitely mindful of the WA, so I'll be interested to see what Steve says later on your show.
Indeed. So good luck with Kanan Stark. But our man Sean Matheson teaming up with the Victorian race 6, number 2 in the hub in the second of the Cup heats. Under the next of them? The
next of them is in race 8 in the last of the Cup heats. And I'm going to go with number 3, Scalacci for Tauji. I would actually be killing myself if I did not tip him in the series. He was desperately unlucky not to make the match race series and defend his crown last week. He comes back to South Australia, where he really made his name, David, through the Derby series and through the match race series. He holds the second sectional to the back straight record, and he's come back better than ever with 3 good performances, and I think he's been ticking over nicely. He's $4. I'm amazed he's $4. Alpha Zulu is the favourite in this race, drawn perfectly for him on the back of a really good trial last week. But Scalacci, I think, just leads this race, and then it'll be a matter of who can catch him. And if he's anywhere near his best, I just don't think they can catch him. And I think $4 is an excellent price in what is probably the most interesting heat, with Big Energy also returning for a little bit of a break.
Absolutely, yeah. We know Big Energy's got a massive motor. Of course, it went round in the Sandgroper as well. It's Alpha Zulu off the inside, but Sean teaming up with race 8 and number 3, Scalacci, and the third of your plays for tonight there at Angle Park.
The third of them is in the next race, race 9, and it's number 4, Daintree Granite for Lauren Harris. Quoted at $2.60. I think he's been ticking over nicely. No luck last start over $5.95. A really strong second the start before. And I just think he's going to land a lot closer than what he did last week, where he found a bit of trouble. Small field suits. He's going to be really, really hard to hold out over the concluding stages. So I think at $2.60, that's a really good bet.
Alrighty, so race 6, number 2, race 8, number 3, race 9, number 4 are the 3 plays tonight for Sean Matheson there at Angle Park on Adelaide Cup Heat Night. We've also got plenty of other chasing to look forward to as the weekend progresses. Gawler for a Friday, and then, of course, on Sunday, Murray Bridge. Anything for those 2 meetings?
Just a couple of quick ones. Tomorrow, Gawler. Race 3, number 1, Dakota Mealer for Colin Symes, part of this Dakota litter that has winner after winner, and they all have early speed. She's won 2 of her last 3, drawn perfectly in box 1 over the short course at Gawler. Will be extremely hard to beat tomorrow. And then then we go off to Murray Bridge on Sunday night. Race 10, number 2, Kai Kai. I tipped her last week, David. She had not a scrap of luck running 4th. She drew wide. She draws much closer to the rail, which is where she wants to be. She draws 2. I think the listeners should give her another go. If she can find that rail early, she's going to be very strong over the concluding part of this race. So whilst it's a stronger race, hopefully get a slightly better price, but hopefully she can redeem the tip from last week for the listeners to keep following her.
Alrighty, so we've got race 3, number 1, Dakota Mealer on a Friday there at Gawler, and we butter up on Sunday with Kiki, race 10, number 2, to get the job done. Sean, to yourself and all the team across there in South Australia for your big heat night tonight, and then, of course, next Friday's just going to be epic. And like I said, maybe the numbers might not be huge, but any way you chop out the actual outcome from these heats tonight, it is going to be a wonderful, wonderful final there next Friday. You'd be delighted with what you've got there. And tell us just quickly before we let you go, what is planned for next Friday, of course, being the meeting that's moved to make sure you've got prime time for the big meeting of the year there, and no doubt a big night planned on track for next Friday.
Yeah, most definitely. And I'll give New South Wales a kick in the butt in a minute, but I'll give them huge credit for this. Without New South Wales allowing us to run on Friday night, giving up a time slot to have our premier meeting for the year in a prime time, we couldn't do it without the support of Greyhound Racing New South Wales in making that change for us, which allows us to really promote the event. My kick up the butt for them is the $1 Million Chase has been all over us for the last 6 years, so we'd be appreciative if they'd actually move that away from us. But anyway, the night itself, the Adelaide Cup, plenty of entertainment on track. We'll have bands, food outlets, face painters, kids' activities, gold coin donation to get in. The venue upstairs, as you know, David, coming here, will be decked out beautifully for those booking a ticket in the venue, where they get to see the action from glassed windows right on track. So plenty of activity. The racing's going to be outstanding. A Friday night, hopefully we get some decent weather. Daylight saving. So, yeah, I mean, we're really looking forward to it. It's our only Group 1 for the year, David. So we really want to engage with as many people as we can, get them to come along and really enjoy the sport of greyhound racing.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where it is now time to catch up with Simon Orchard to round out the program this week, and no doubt the can of soda has been dropped and it's ready to absolutely fizz all over your face, because on Saturday night there, punters, Wentworth Park, this program is absolutely elite, and it is only the entree, if you can believe that. We've got the 8 city qualifiers for the $1 million chase prior to heading into what is going to be a massive couple of weeks in the build-up to October 18 on the Friday night there at Wentworth Park, where the $1 million will be up for grabs. Let's catch up with Simon now. Hello to you, Simon.
G'day, Shortte. G'day, listeners. One more mate I've had in a while. I like it. Fizz Central over here in New South Wales, and you're right. All roads leading to Wenty Park Saturday. We'll be there, thedogs.com.au, for all the action and reaction. As 16 spots are left, Shorty, in the semi-finals on October 12. We understand top 2 from each city qualifier will go through. I'm sure there'll be a dog here or there that probably won't make the trip, or unfortunately maybe has been injured in the last month or so since they've qualified. So there's probably a few more spots up for grabs. But we do know that the top 2 for 8 really good city qualifiers will go through, and there's some nervous trainers, owners, participants out there, because it's full of quality, mate, and there's a bunch of dogs who we either forgot about or have been patiently waiting to see, or have had no luck so far through the series, that are going around on Saturday night as well. So everywhere you look, really good greyhound talent. And that's not to mention the next couple of weeks where we've got the Sydney Cup heats, we've got the Masters Media heats, the young stars going off, as well as the $1 million chase maiden. So we really are getting to the pointy end of proceedings, mate. Lots happening wherever you look.
Yeah, big time. And as you said, there are a few greyhounds that are very comfortable. They've already been and done their thing and qualified through. But for the ones that haven't, it all comes down to absolutely delivering come Saturday night to make sure they finish in that Quinella position and get through to the next phase of this amazing series. Prior to that, though, we've got plenty of great chasing on today. It's been Thursday nights has proven to be a very, very busy night in New South Wales greyhound racing, of course, with Dapto and Wentworth Park now tag teaming for the punters on a Thursday night, which has been an absolute treat for the punters like myself that enjoy a bet on a Thursday night. I'll handball across to you, Simon. You can take us through your key plays in New South Wales chasing over the next few days.
Yeah, appreciate that, Shorty. Look, if you want to have a bet up the Richmond Straight today, you can go 8-6 Villiame, who's a really good straight track performer, 5 from 7. A lot of those wins have come up the Richmond Straight for James Porter, won 4 on the bounce. So Villiame, the best bet up the Richmond Straight today. That's 8-6. You can get that at about 2:30, I think, New South Wales time. Casino, if you want to have a play up in the north, 5-8 Come On Remy. Only had 2 starts, but 1 win. That came last start up there at Casino in a pretty good time. So backing Come On Remy, 5-8 to win again at Casino. If you want to have a play at Dapto, not a lot of meat on the bone, but 6-6 Vonnie's Power, maybe one for the multiples. The GAT camp back down there at Dapto, they trial and prepare all their dogs down there, and I think Vonnie's Power in a maiden race is going to prove too good, and I think that's why you've got the short quote, I should say, for Vonnie's Power. That's 4-6. And tonight at Wenty, 8-1 Spring Taipan is probably the best bet according to the Hound, but I spoke to Andy Lord this morning, and he reckons 12-6 Law Book at around the $3.10, $3.20 mark. I think they were betting $4 when it opened up earlier in the week, a couple of scratchings. But 12-6 Law Book has got the tip of approval from Andy Lord, another greyhound out of Book of Love, who's produced a lot of great chases or good chases, I should say, for Andy Lord. Punters Bandit springs to mind. Tiger Jet, of course, you know a lot about, comes out of Book of Love as well, just keeps producing a lot of good greyhounds. We Don't Share, $1 million chase maiden winner as well, comes out of Book of Love. So Law Book, 12-6, another one to watch tonight. That's tonight. In terms of Saturday, just quickly, if you want to focus on the city qualifiers, I like Angel Shirley, 5-7. I thought she was dreadfully unlucky in the blacktop. She missed the start. She flew home. She should have probably been in that final, and who knows what she could have done. But Angel Shirley, been waiting to see her come into this $1 million chase series. So that's 5-7 on Saturday night. And then 8-4 Tulsi Banner, another dog I've got a lot of time for because she gets out on the arm and absolutely flies. Again, missed it at Newcastle, spoke to Barry Gibbons, and he said, she's just not used to the quiet lure up there at the Gardens. Back at Wentworth Park, where she won a Group 1 earlier this year, she's 4 from 6 at track and trip. She's only had the 1 miss in those 6 starts, and she carves out really good early sections. I think she'll either lead or sit outside My Hepburn, who gets back to the races for the first time in a while, and I think 8-4 Tulsi Banner can get the job done Saturday night. as well. Plenty to look for, but as I said, stick to thedogs.com for all the action reactions Saturday night. As every dog, participant, owner, trainer has one last crack at getting through to the semi-final, Shorty.
Beautiful work. 8-4 Tulsi Banner, 5-7 Angel Shirley there Saturday night. Those Wentworth Park City qualifiers. And, Simon, tell the crew to have the 100,000 on standby because I've been lining them up beautifully from 40 out, straight in the bucket. I'm almost push button now. So if I can get drawn out, just make sure the team have got the 100,000 on standby there for Friday, the 18th of October. Anybody tuned in, if you've yet to go to $1 million chase, you've got a couple of weeks to get yourself together. It's the Everest the day after. If you love your racing, make some plans. If you go big with a win on the quaddie or some all-ups in the next little bit, get yourself across to New South Wales and Wentworth Park for Friday the 18th of October. It's $1 million chase night. It is going to be elite. Appreciate your time as always, Simon.
Yeah, thanks, Shorty. You mentioned the $1 million challenge. All you got to do, sign up, get a ticket today, enter online. Punt Like Paps is where you can go. You just got to be over 18. You can't have been a professional in the last, 10 years, and you can kick for $100,000. 10 lucky punters will get a chance to launch one from 40 metres away to win 100K. That'd make the absolute best weekend ever if you can roll into the Everest the next day. Good on you, mate.
Cheers. All the best to you, Simon. Simon Orchard. That brings to a close Greys for today. We'll swing back to Maddie, who's got race number 1 at Ballarat just around the corner. As always, big thanks to all of our special guests today and to Maddie McDermott, who does a wonderful job putting it all together each and every week. Thank you, Maddie. Enjoy your Thursday. I'll be back with the listeners from 3 o'clock this afternoon with Alex Vlahos with Drive from 3 till 6 this afternoon right here on TAB Radio.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.